Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel, and here we are. It is a Pantry Cooking for Two Tuesday, and I love these videos because I get to make things that I love to make. And one of the things is yesterday you would have seen me put together this ground beef helper mix. That's what I'm going to use tonight. Now, normally I would use a half a pound of ground beef because it's just the two of us, but I know I've got a super busy day tomorrow, and I'm probably not going to get home where I'm going to either feel like cooking or it's going to be too late to really cook. So I'm actually going to make a full regular, because that way I will have leftovers so that we can just have leftovers the next night. So I'm planning ahead to actually make leftovers. And sometimes if you're making something like this, you could make extra and then put the other in the freezer if you wanted to, like just make a full meal. But the beautiful thing about having these mixes is that you can use the amount you want. So if I was only using a half of a pound of the hamburger, I would use a quarter of a cup of the mix, but because I'm using the whole pound, I'm going to use the full cup. And you remember they used to have like all those little helper recipes? This is kind of just that simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fry up the ground beef and I'm going to pour off the oil. And then actually it's the noodle skillet recipe that comes with the recipe for the ground beef helper. But then I'm going to put in a half a cup of the helper, and an 8-ounce can, it says, of seasoned tomato sauce, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want it to seem like a spaghetti kind of thing. So I'm actually just going to use a pint of the home canned tomatoes that I have. So I'm going to fry up the beef. I'm going to put a half of a cup of the helper in it, mix it around, and then I'm going to add in, I'm going to have to chop these up because they're just halved, but I'm going to add in my own tomatoes, and then I've already got some bow tie pasta over there boiling, so then I'll add the pasta in, and we're going to have that with green beans. So as soon as the pasta is done and I start to fry this up, I'll come back and show you the way I mix the rest of these things together. Okay, the pasta is done, and now I did take my tomatoes out, and I use this is like my ground beef chopper thing, but I chopped up the tomatoes, and now I'm going to put the ground beef in here and I'm going to brown it. And then I don't think there's going to be very much fat on this because it's pretty lean, but if there's a lot, I'll just drain it off. Now I'm going to go brown that, and then I'm going to come back and simply add in the helper and the tomatoes, and I'm going to let those get nice and hot, and then I will add in the pasta. So let me go and brown. Okay, I've got the ground beef fried, and now I'm going to take the helper, the ground beef helper, and I'm going to mix it in there. So good. It smells wonderful. And then I'm just going to put the tomatoes in there. Get that all mixed around. And I'll mix in the tomatoes. Then I'm just going to take this over and get it nice and hot, and then I'm going to mix the pasta in. So you see that tomatoes are going to make it so nice and creamy, yummy. Okay, so I'm going to take this over and I'm going to get it nice and hot, and then I'll bring it back and we'll mix in the pasta. Okay, I've got it nice and hot, and now I'm just going to add in the pasta. Now I could do a lot of things. I could add like a little bit of hot sauce in here. I could add cheese. There's a lot you could do, but I'm just going to do the basic hamburger and noodles, ground beef noodle recipe with the ground beef helper. It looks good, doesn't it? So good. So now I also have some green beans on, so I'm going to put this back on. I just didn't want the pasta to break up while everything was getting hot. Now I'm going to put this back on the stove and let everything get nice and hot all the way through. And then I will plate it up with my green beans, and I'll show you what our dinner looks like tonight. Okay, there you have it. I've got green beans, and I've got a little butter and a little vegetable herb blend on top. And then there is our little ground beef helper. And I'm just going to put a little Parmesan on top just to add a little something to it. And there you have it. The ground beef mix, helper mix that we did yesterday and today. This is how you can use it in a meal. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.